I just finished watching episode 2 of My Hero Academia Season 6, so let's talk about it. Probably don't need to say this, but spoiler says, so click that like button and come back later. This episode was absolutely amazing. It was honestly really hard for me to pick which character was my favorite this episode, but if I had to choose, it'd probably be Mirko. The moment I saw her charging her way into the hospital while taking on all those high-end Nomu, I knew she was going to be a personal favorite of mine this season. Seriously, she was so awesome in this episode. Look at how bad those Nomu tore off her arm. Sure, Izuka has messed up his arm pretty bad in the past, but none of that compares to what happened to Mirko in this episode. Oh my god, her arm looks like a pretzel they would serve to at Buffalo Wild Wings. By the looks of things, it looks like this arc is still doing some really good pacing, and if all goes according to plan, we should end the season somewhere around 324. I personally hope that's the case, because I personally think that ending the season off with me, America's #1 hero, would be such an awesome way to end off this season. So I also really enjoyed Denki's character in this episode a lot. He was really close to becoming my favorite character in this episode. I don't care what people say about Denki, he is awesome, especially in this episode. I don't know what it is, there's just something I always respect about a character that's willing to put everything on the line for something that they care about. Speaking of which, I know people are gonna go crazy over that confirmation that Denki does in fact love Jiro, and the same goes for Jiro. I have two favorite moments in this episode. My first favorite moment is when Mirko defeats those two high-end Nomu. Like I mentioned before, this was a really high anticipated moment I've been waiting to see animated, and it did not disappoint. And my second favorite moment is when Denki uses his quirk to save the heroes. Even though Denki has a kind of double-edged sword kind of quirk, it was cool to see this dude finally get the spotlight he deserved and prove to the heroes that his quirk can be useful in battle. I give this episode a 9 out of 10, giving it an A. Anyway, that's the review. Go down to those comments and tell me what you thought of this episode of My Hero Academia Season 6. Share this video with all your friends. And click that like and follow button to keep updated with all my latest content. See ya!